Hey guys, how about you? Could we finish up Elements of Justice, the MLP thing, the trial. This one's episode 8, the trial. This one's 2 hours, so we're gonna cut this in half because shit my ass for 2 hours is not exactly fun. So, yeah, I wasn't able to make a video last weekend because, well, my computer was, the fans were getting bad. It was making little loud noises. Luckily, it only cost me like $15 per fan. That thing has like a lot of fans in that, so that was pricey. Yeah, it's a gaming computer, but I found out my graphics card is crap, so I can't play any advanced games like Elden Ring or World of Warcraft, which really annoys me. I love World of Warcraft. I've been wanting to play that Dragonflight one for so long. It reminds me so much of Spyro. A lot of people on Facebook have been posting like mad about, oh my gosh, we're having so much fun. We got this lava snail, or we got these lava mammoths mounts inside. I really want to play the game now. But, yeah. Probably not going to happen for a long time because the graphics card costs almost as much as a new computer. Which is kind of bullcrap. But, yeah. So, without further ado, let's get to the video. No one. All the games I can play is Skyrim and Minecraft. That's we've had fun.
What the heck was that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, because
stepped down as Sweetie Belle's lawyer. You must have scared her half to death.
Yeah, I probably did.
And of course, they don't really allow kids
Sweetie Belle wasn't going to talk unless she was backed into a corner.
They think they're too stupid
to
do it.
She was awfully determined to keep things to
I wasn't
herself.
one of those stupid court things.
Again.
I wasn't really allowed to talk.
Again. What's her angle here?
I'm wondering if that was connected to how she was behaving earlier today.
There's a reason I don't smile that much in
Earlier
real
today?
life.
You mean before
And
the
these
trial?
videos are the only things I actually smile.
And
Real life,
how
I'm just
nonchalant she was. Since Athena managed to surprise her, I think she must have been counting on not being asked to testify.
I just don't have much to smile
Even
about.
so, don't you think it was going way too far making that threat?
Truthfully, Trucy,
Most of
I
the
didn't
time you
like
kind of
doing
have
it
to.
either. But Sweetie Belle left us no choice.
I mean, that's what police officers
Agreed. I didn't like
Yeah, they
making
take
Sweetie
advantage
Belle
of
feel
that
that
too
way
much.
either. But she's
That's why no one
definitely up
respects
to
police
something.
officers.
We can't save her if she isn't willing to speak.
I'm not wearing my red.
Especially if her
thing
not saying
because
anything only implicates her even
It's
further.
just hot as hell.
Yeah, I
Ironic,
know.
because it's wintertime, it's
I
like
guess it just
20
threw me
or
for a loop.
in the teens out,
Yeah,
so
me too.
chilly.
Rarity didn't take it very well
But since
either.
the desert,
I'm surprised she isn't here right
dry
now.
cold is a difference.
I can't really say I blame her. Athena just put her own sister's life on the line.
Rarity and Trucy weren't the only ones thrown for a loop, though. Prosecutor Luna was as well, and for some reason, so were Miss Devotion and Miss Stamp. Could that mean...
Sounds like you finally noticed it, boss.
Miss Devotion killed her husband.
Noticed what?
I mean, it wouldn't make
Trucy,
sense. I mean,
did you
she's called
find it
Fair
odd how Fair
Devotion.
Devotion was
Not a lot
acting?
of
The way she
people
had
are
her
that
sugar stamp and
devoted.
private eye? She managed to explain away the contradictions in both their testimonies. And not only
If I ever
that,
get married, I'm
the
gonna
two
have
of them went
a
along
salon
with
wedding.
it.
Meaning no divorce.
Daddy! You're not saying...
Though I'm probably
This
never
is
gonna.
exactly why I didn't do as Luna suggested
I don't know
and go
about
after
this.
Fair Devotion. Fair's been planning some kind of story, I think, from the very beginning. And those two, Sugar Stamp and Private Eye, somehow they're also a part of it. Probably as collaborators.
What do you mean a story? Fair and Sugar are caught up in a love triangle over royal order, aren't they?
That's probably made up.
That's certainly what the evidence suggests, but I'm not so sure about that anymore, Trucy. Think about it. If the writing in the journal is fake, then who's to say the love letter isn't as well?
But why would you think that?
It's funny. I look
Because of
up
what I've
and it
been
looks
hearing.
like I'm looking right. When I turn
Fair
right,
and
it looks
Sugar
like I'm
certainly
looking left.
act like two scorned lovers, but the emotions in their voices don't match what they're saying. In fact, their outbursts are completely emotionless, almost as if...
They don't have any real investment in what they're saying?
Yeah, I mean, if it was real,
Exactly.
somebody would have been getting
That led me to
strangled.
believe Sugar Stamp's confession was most definitely a lie. One that someone supported by
A lot of
planting
people
that
like
letter
watching
opener.
trials. I'm not like
And your main
Judge
suspect
Judy
was
and all
Private
that.
Eye,
I know my mom
seeing
does.
as how he was
Like
the lead
watching that kind of
investigator.
stuff.
Yeah, I
I do
didn't
not like
want
trials.
to believe it, but it made the most sense. He
Especially
was
the
also friends with
Jury,
Royal Order, so
Jury.
he may have a personal stake in this as well. Anyway, if Sugar's lying about killing him, she must also be lying about why she killed him. Coupled
have
with a
a
lack
theory
of
that,
emotions regarding the subject, the affair is
The
also likely
Pegasus
to be a
and
lie.
One
the
that Fair
Hat-wearing pony
Devotion,
are going to be
Sugar Stamp,
lovers.
and
I
Private
just
Eye
have an
must all
odd
be
feeling
aware
that they're
of.
going to be a couple.
That's why you insisted we go down this route,
Private Eye, there we
isn't
go.
it?
Sugar
It
Stamp, okay,
started as a
that's Pegasus,
hunch, but yeah, it looks like everyone's lying to us. Sweetie Belle included for some reason.
Okay. Everybody lies in court, unfortunately.
But they must be lying
Even
for
when
more
they say,
than just
when
trying
you
to
put your
land
hand on the
Sugar
book and you're
Stamp
like,
in prison.
"God, we swear by
So what's
God."
their end
They
game?
need to quit doing that. No one ever swears
What
to God anymore.
indeed?
Hello,
I could have sworn I went through all these goddamn advertisements.
Sonata!
Oh? You all seem lost in thought. Is now a bad time?
Actually, we're in recess right now, so you couldn't have picked a better time. How was your investigation?
It was quite productive. I managed to acquire the information you asked for, Athena.
Really? That's great!
What info?
Let's see what you've got.
First, I managed to test the blood that Apollo, Trucy, and I found on the trees the other day. As was expected, it belonged to Royal Order.
God damn, what the hell was that beast doing there? Was it like, flailing him around or something? God damn.
More of his blood, huh? Should have seen that coming.
But what was it doing
That
in
pigs have
the
more
trees,
blood in the
though?
horse.
And how did it get there?
They're like
I don't
80%
recall
blood.
seeing any blood on the forest floor.
I'm still not sure of that
Or a pony.
myself. The answer may come about during the rest of the trial.
Agreed. What else have you got?
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to determine the exact source of the anonymous tip, but I was able to verify which magazine was used to make it.
And that would be...
The one you found in Diamond Tiara's bedroom, Mr. Wright. It had letters
Hey,
cut
it
out
was
of it that matched
the
the
little
ones
bratty
in the
girls that
anonymous
did it.
tip. I even managed to take a better quality photo of the magazine before removing it for examination.
Just rub it in his face.
Well, not all of us can afford a higher quality camera.
Perhaps you
My
should
camera's
learn to
pretty
invest
good.
a
I
bit
just
more
can't
wisely
take
then.
pictures long distance.
Don't bother, Sonata. Daddy would just be confused anyway.
So if I'm driving and someone cuts me off, I can't take a picture of there. It'll just be too blurry. Like, you goddamn son of a bitch.
What's all this stuff underneath the magazine?
I noticed that as well.
February 14th.
After I took that picture, I did some digging
It's still only
and
the hell
determined
out
that's
of
a
me
couple
that
of Hearts and Hooves
this
Day
is
envelopes.
Ponyville, and it's February.
They were most likely
and
thrown
it's
away
so
after Ms.
greenery.
Tiara opened them.
Digging in a literal
Do they have
sense.
early, was it wrap up or something?
I see you've also taken up the habit of sifting through trash, huh, Sonata?
Really, Mr. Wright? You and I both know this was part of an intense investigation. It's not sifting through trash, it's sifting through evidence.
That's what he was doing too.
But the fact that the magazine cutouts match the tip, does that mean Diamond Tiara is the one who actually sent it?
I'm not so sure of
If
that,
she had
Princess
footprints.
Twilight. Still,
They don't
it
have
would be worth
fingerprints.
verifying for
How would you
ourselves. Which is
tell
why after
when
I
you
was
do
done
the
investigating,
stub
I
part of
asked
their
her and Silver Spoon to
first-
come and wait in the lobby.
That sounds like a good idea. Thank you, Sonata. What else were you able to uncover?
You remember the remaining suit of armor? I managed to find it.
Hey!
You mean the one that the clone Scootaloo crashed into would have been wearing?
What somebody pony do? Just dive in the water and just look for
Precisely. I found it deep in the Everfree forest.
it? Ah,
It had
okay.
been chewed apart by timber wolves and was missing its
Ah.
helmet. In addition, I noticed that the
That
left
makes
side of
sense.
the body plate had a particularly ugly dent in it.
Any idea as to what made it?
Based on how
It's
it was
hard to see.
dented and the shape of the impression left over, I'd say some kind of long wedged object.
A long wedged object?
Like a pipe hammer or something?
You managed to uncover quite a bit, Sonata. It must have taken you some time.
Actually, that's the thing, Princess Twilight. It really didn't. I managed to uncover everything just this morning, while the trial was happening.
Really? That easy?
Well, maybe you're just really good at getting the
Every
job
pony
done.
else will search like hell for the rest of the armor.
You think so? Well, perhaps.
Unless they
But that does
purposely
make me
ignored it.
wonder.
Wonder what?
I was able to uncover all of this rather easily, without having to jump through a bunch of hoops and hurdles.
Yeah,
So
that's
how
a little
can the
odd.
investigation team manage to miss the blood and the armor entirely?
Maybe they
It was
purposely
because of
ignored
Private
it.
Eye.
Yep.
What? Private Eye?
I hate advertisements.
I see.
I skipped all the way halfway
But
through
that
and I
doesn't
thought I
seem
got
like him
all the
to do
goddamn
that.
advertisements.
Not even if he believed
Which
truly
means I have to
that
go
Sugar
back and
Stamp was the
delete that
killer.
goddamn thing.
Have you worked with him before?
Yes, on a number of occasions.
Ugh,
But that's neither here nor there
I
at
wish
the
people
moment.
who made advertisements would
The
just
point
die.
is, I trust him. I can't imagine he'd do something like that without a good reason.
But he's already admitted to forging evidence, so we know that he managed to manipulate the investigation to stay away from those other areas for some reason. If it isn't for what we uncovered, then I don't know what else.
Pardon me for my intrusion, but I must admit my own confusion.
What? Zipporah?
Oh,
It's a
yes.
perfect.
That was another thing Athena asked me to do. Bring Zecora along.
Right. Thank you for coming, Zecora. I just have a few last-minute questions that I need you to answer.
If aid from me is what you desire, then by all means, you may inquire.
I
Sonata,
think
could
they
you show
should
her that
never
photo?
add
The one
use
with the boulder
video,
outside of the mirror pool?
advertisements to YouTube. It's,
Here it is.
It's just stupid.
Zecora, this photo shows the boulder that was placed outside of the mirror pool. There are a couple of flowers all over it. Can you tell me what they are?
Of their identity, I have no doubt. These are day bloomers with petals out.
Alright.
Day bloomers.
That's
Right.
basically every flower in
That's what I was
existence.
thinking. Sonata, do you have that other photo I requested?
Yes, here you are, Athena.
Athena? That's just a photo of inside Zecora's home.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she'd recognize that.
It's not the inside of the hut I'm interested in, actually.
The potion.
It's the healing potion inside that was stolen.
How do you know which one's
First,
a healing potion?
I want to reaffirm that the potion was stored in the
Nothing's
floor
labeled.
shelf, right?
Yes, that is where it was always stored, just above the hut's floorboard.
And this
You probably saw
potion,
a ton of those.
is it difficult to make?
Even with my skill, it requires some time. The components are not simply found for a dime. There's also a considerable time to brew. It can take upwards of a full month or two.
Oh,
Do you just make these
admit
kinds of
months are
potions for
real, but
yourself?
Every pony else
Thanks
just
to
says
their
moons.
rarity, the demand is quite high. This one the local hospital will always buy. Its potency proves to be worth the price, when normal treatments won't suffice.
Well, at least that works. yeah.
Local hospital. That must mean Ponyville General Hospital.
Is there any other?
That answers everything I had for now. Thanks again, Zecora. Could you actually stick around before the trial begins? I might want to ask a few more things.
Of course, I'll gladly spare my time, if it will help solve this awful crime.
I know you didn't ask this of me, Athena, but I'd also gone to check up on the Carousel Boutique break-in.
Alright.
Oh, good thinking. Did you find anything new?
Unfortunately, no. The investigators are still looking for anything that might have been taken, but so far they've found nothing. Rarity, as you can understand, is still quite upset.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, with the
Although-
blood everywhere.
If nothing's missing, could that mean that if anything was stolen at all, it was something no one would even notice in the first place?
Was it the
Miss
potion
Sykes?
bottle?
Turning page. I'm surprised to see you. What brings you to the
Something tells me
courthouse?
that boy's not gonna have a mom because she's gonna be in jail.
I just wanted to say good luck. We're all counting on you to free Miss Sweetie Belle.
I know, Turning. So long as Sweetie Belle cooperates with us, we'll be able to succeed.
Yeah, if she'll
also
cooperate.
wanted to see Scootaloo again, to check how she's feeling.
I'm doing okay, Turning. I have faith that
Caring
Athena
about
and
your
Twilight are gonna turn this
brain.
trial around.
Yeah, me too.
There's something up with him. It's not just trial jitters. What could it be? Maybe...
You probably know
Hey,
something bad about
Turning.
to happen.
Yes, Miss Sykes?
It's about your mother. Is she... okay?
Okay.
I mean, she's been acting a bit strangely all throughout this trial. You wouldn't happen to know why that is, would you?
Can I ask you to do something, Miss Sykes? Whatever happens in this trial, please help my mom. No matter the cost.
What the...
That's gonna be hard.
Help his mom? No matter what the cost? What could that mean? And why does it fill me with the most ominous sense of dread?
May I have your
probably did.
attention, please? The trial is about to reconvene. Defense, please return to the courtroom shortly.
Right. We'd better head inside, Athena.
Just a second. I want to ask Sakura and Scootaloo one more thing.
Huh? What is it, Athena?
It just occurred to me. All throughout this trial, we've been hearing about these clanging noises. But Scootaloo, during your testimony yesterday, you never mentioned anything about them. Did you hear anything of that sort that night?
Yeah, actually. I heard one when I was just passing by Sakura's house. And then one more just before I crashed into Royal Order.
So you heard two? And Sakura,
Oh, it's probably
you
the
still
Timberwolf
maintain you
foot
heard
flinging
just the one?
mail across
I
the...
am quite sure
Why am I
that
the only
amount.
one that finds
No
out?
other claims I can recount.
I will just smack that
Defense,
dead
you need to
horse
head
against the-
inside.
the trees.
Just one more
with
question.
armor.
Scootaloo, that first clang you heard,
Bang, bang,
did it
bang.
differ in any way from the second one?
I guess a little? Like, the first one was much louder than the other one. They were both metallic sounding.
Louder, huh? Then that would mean...
Speaking of crashing into Royal Order, I'm not sure what it means, but you said he was wearing armor?
He should have been, yeah. That's what Sweetie used to scare away the Timberwolves.
But he wasn't wearing any armor when I crashed into him.
Then that clone was wearing armor.
He wasn't? But then, how?
Defense!
Athena, we need to get going!
Right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you after the trial.
Hope there's no more goddamn advertisements. I don't fucking understand. I went through the whole damn thing. It always shows. This is why I hate recording on YouTube. God damn it, this is annoying. Which means we're gonna have to deal with every fucking advertisement. Really ruined the experience.
Court is back in session for the trial of Miss Sweetie Belle.
Do not like
I
and
trust
subscribe
that the
to these
defendant
people
is
who made
ready
this
to
video.
testify.
Not me, but the
Yes, Your
people
Honor.
who made the Milo Pony one.
Before we
Not
begin, I would like to
subscribe
ask if
at
either
all.
the prosecution or defense
Thank
have any final
dislike.
objections to the matter. Prosecutor Luna, what say you?
'Cause I definitely am.
Having Sweetie Belle testify must have thrown her entire plan for a loop.
Prosecutor Luna? You appear somewhat hesitant.
Did you fall asleep?
Those eyes of yours have not dwindled with age, Your Honor. To be perfectly frank, I am a bit hesitant. I cannot foresee where exactly this testimony will lead us.
Like a
Prosecutor
real
Luna,
trial.
Yes, Miss Sykes?
do you remember what you told me last night?
Nope.
But still, I believe you must, if nothing else, trust that in the end, the truth will be found. Never mind what the lawkeeper has said.
I know, but it's hard sometimes. Like stumbling around in the dark hoping you'll find a light switch. Except you don't know if the room you're in even has one.
Trust is a leap of faith, Athena. That's all it ever is. I do, yes.
The other thing I don't like about
You trusted me
recording
back
long
then.
videos because,
Asked
like
me
I
to
said,
find
when
the
they have
truth
so
in
many
any way
random
I can.
advertisements and I can't find them.
Please,
I have to
trust
go back
me
and
now.
delete them. It's such a pain in the neck to deal with.
I shall then, Miss Sykes.
I'd ask you to trust me as well, Sweetie Belle,
rings on their
but I
horns.
somehow doubt you will.
Your Honor,
What are they gonna
the
do?
prosecution is ready to hear the witness's testimony.
As is the defense.
Very well. Witness, you will testify to the court as to your movements on the night of the murder.
Alright.
There isn't really a lot to say. That night, I was at the statue of Nightmare Moon. Not long after I'd arrived, I saw timberwolves approaching the area. One of them attacked me! I managed to scare it off, and afterwards, I hid behind the statue.
That's not the full story.
I was there for a long time. I don't really remember for how long exactly. It's all a bit of a blur. After a while, I left the statue seeing that no one was around. I made myself a tourniquet and went to Zecora's hut to look for a healing potion.
Wait a moment! You mean to say you were almost killed that night by wild timberwolves?
Yeah.
You would have a delicious breakfast.
My word! I knew those animals were brutes, but I never imagined they'd go so far as to attack a random filly. To think there could be a place so full of danger in this world,
You have no
let alone
idea.
one so close to somewhere as idyllic as Ponyville.
What's up with Prosecutor Luna?
It is indeed fortunate that the bell did not toll for thee, young one.
In any case, I believe we may now begin the cross-examination. Defense, are you ready?
You bet, Your Honor.
There isn't really a lot to say.
Not you, the typewriting.
That
thing,
night, I was at the statue of Nightmare Moon.
Why were you in the Everfree Forest in the first place? And why the statue?
Yeah.
Do I really have to say it?
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Fine. It was because I found Scootaloo's note in Carousel Boutique.
Scootaloo's note?
This one, Your Honor. It's Scootaloo's confession to Rarity for taking a roll of gold and silk in order to fulfill the blackmailer's demand.
After I'd found that note, I considered following her and turning into the forest to stop them.
And why was that?
To get back the roll of gold and silk, obviously. The thing cost Rarity a small fortune. And Scootaloo stole it right from under my nose. I didn't want Rarity to find out or she'd totally freak. And I didn't want Scootaloo to do anything dumb. Or anything more dumb than stealing from my system.
But how did you end up at the statue?
Once I finally decided to go after them, I headed to the forest entrance. As soon as I got there, I heard a loud noise coming from within. I thought it might be her, so I cast an illumination spell and started heading towards it.
You know
Could you
magic?
describe this noise for us?
It was loud and metallic, like a clang.
Cling?
That noise seems to be at the center of everything. Sakura and Diamond Tiara heard one, and Silver Spoon
Okay,
heard
we'll find out
two.
what that thing is all
And
about.
Scootaloo heard two as well. This must have been one of them. And if one was quieter than the other... Sweetie Belle, around what time did you hear that cling?
How would she know?
Probably around 10:15.
Does every
Yeah, that
creature
sounds
have
right.
a freaking
10:15.
watch on it?
The same time that Sakura, Diamond Tiara, and Silver Spoon each heard one. And when Sugar Stamp kicked Royal Order. If that confession wasn't a load of baloney, that is.
Let's get back to the testimony. Witness, what happened next?
Not long after I'd arrived, I saw timberwolves approaching the area.
So the Timberwolves were in the area when you arrived at the statue
Of
and
course you
started
can't
to
yell out
approach?
Yes, that's correct.
Did you see anything else near the statue besides those
Only
timber
the
wolves?
judge can yell.
Yeah, actually. There was a big bloodstain out in front of the statue, and also a set of armor.
That armor, no doubt, must have belonged to the Royal Order whom Scootaloo crashed into, and who crawled to the statue afterwards.
Except she claims that that Royal Order wasn't wearing armor. So how did it get there?
Probably took
And the
armor
blood
off.
stain?
Royal Orders, of course. The blood test proved that. Sweetie Belle, was there a body present when you saw all of this?
No, there wasn't a body.
That means the Timberwolves must have already eaten the body and were in the process of leaving when Sweetie Belle came along. Objection!
But that contradicts what Sugar Stamp said. She saw Sweetie Belle trip Royal Order. The body had not yet been eaten by Timberwolves.
However, as Fair Devotion
That's a
suggested,
super- I
it's
have to go
possible
back so
Sugar
many
Stamp was
goddamn
misremembering
times.
things that night.
Not fair.
She might have
I've
been
looked
so
through
traumatized
the
that she
whole
only
video,
thought she
halfway
saw
through the
Sweetie Belle
goddamn
trip
video.
him.
That still leaves Miss Devotion's testimony to contradict this one. Defense,
truly hate the
tell me you
creators
have a
of this
plan for resolving
video.
that issue.
I do, of course. Just, don't expect
I
it
know
right
they're
now,
probably not
okay?
expecting people to react to
I
the
have a
videos.
lot of patience, Miss Sykes. You needn't worry.
But still, you should not add
The only
50
way to
goddamn
resolve it is to
advertisements one
disprove
fucking
both
video.
Sugar's and Fair's entire testimonies, which have been definitive since they back each other up.
This is not
But
TV. This
in
is
order to
freaking
do that,
YouTube.
I'll first have to break Sweetie Belle's testimony.
Witness, please continue.
So I'm a Grouchy Mood. It's just every December I'm always a grouch.
One of them attacked me. I managed to scare it off, and afterwards, I hid behind the statue.
No
Were you
good
injured by
experience
this
with
attack?
Christmas.
A little bit. It scratched my right foreleg, enough for me to bleed a little.
Which accounts for the fact that the witness's blood was found at the scene.
How did you scare off the Timberwolf exactly?
It was
Did he need
simple,
armor?
really. I used the armor to do it.
What do you mean?
Timberwolves don't like loud sounds. My friend Applebloom once told me about how her granny scared off a whole pack using nothing but a frying pan. I remembered that story and decided to do something similar with the armor. I took 2 pieces and hit them together as hard as I could. That did the job and scared them away.
A rather ingenious spur-of-the-moment idea.
And around what time did you hit the armor pieces together?
How
I'm not
would
sure,
she
to be honest.
know?
Well, let's backtrack and see if we can figure it out. You heard the first clanging noise at 10:15, didn't you?
Yes, that's right.
How would you
And
know?
afterwards, you started heading towards where you thought it was coming from, the statue. How long did it take you to arrive?
Probably about 10 minutes.
Then we can reasonably assume that you arrived close to 10:25, if not on it.
How are
You
they
then
so
hit the armor
specific
pieces
on
together,
times?
maybe around the same time, eliciting a loud clanging sound. Does that sound about right, Sweetie
I
Belle?
guarantee you real quirks
Yeah,
are not like
it makes
this.
sense to me.
So one loud clang at 10:15, and the quieter one Sweetie caused at the statue around 10:25. And afterwards, you chose to hide behind the statue. Why did you do that?
It's because I thought I heard someone coming. And I was afraid it was more animals. More timberwolves, maybe? Or a manticore? Or something worse.
Or that
So
chicken with the
I hid,
chicken,
using my
or the,
magic to hide the blood trail that I left while
snake
walking
tail.
behind the statue.
And what happened next?
I was there for a long time. I don't really remember for how long exactly. It's all a bit of a blur.
You don't remember how long you were back there?
No, not at all.
She seems awfully calm about this whole thing. You're sure? You never saw whoever was coming your way?
Nope. To be honest, I don't even fully remember what happened after.
She probably had a memory.
I think I must have passed out for a little while.
Considering that you had just been attacked and were suffering some blood loss, that would indeed appear to be plausible. We can't expect you to remember how long you were out if you were truly unconscious, after all.
True.
So you were out for a time, and then you came to. When you did you happen to see if the armor and bloodstain were still in front of the statue?
No, they were gone.
They were gone? As in, they were just missing?
Yep, but I didn't really think about it. I just wanted to get out of there.
I understand, defendant. Let's return to when you came to, then. What did you do immediately afterwards?
After a while, I left the statue saying that no one was around.
You
I
should
made
not
myself
have
a
this many
tourniquet and went to
advertisements.
Zeccora's hut to look for a healing potion.
It's really killing the joy for me in this video.
Sweetie Belle, you're saying you made yourself a tourniquet, then made your way to Zeccora's hut. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what happened.
I don't think so.
What?
You made your tourniquet out of forest debris, and that, I'm afraid, would have been impossible for you.
Why is that?
Because, Your Honor, there's no blood leading from the back of the statue to the tree line.
What the?
You're right. For Sweetie Belle to have gotten any materials to make a tourniquet, she'd have to grab stuff from the tree line. But that would mean she'd be dripping blood all over the place.
So, Sweetie Belle, how do you explain
Stop it.
that?
Ponies can't see red.
That's easy. I used my magic to keep the blood from falling everywhere.
You used your magic? Why?
What do you mean, why? I was bleeding!
Exactly. You were injured and bleeding. You just passed out and only had just awoken moments beforehand. Not the best condition to be using magic in. You'd probably be too rattled to be able to concentrate on making sure every drop of your blood didn't end up on the forest floor.
True.
So again, why would you bother trying?
I just used my magic to grab stuff from the tree line to make a tourniquet.
Oh, quit lying.
But that doesn't add up either, Sweetie Belle. You and I both know that your magic hasn't developed that much yet.
Yes, it has. I've been practicing outside of our lessons. You just haven't seen me.
Why do they
Well,
always
I
insist on
can't
lying?
deny that, I suppose.
See, no matter how you look at it, I made that tourniquet.
Oh? If that's the case, then you should be able to recreate it for us right now.
Recreate it?
Defense? Surely you're not asking the defendant to go back into the Everfree Forest just to grab a bunch of
No, they
material?
would not.
And
They probably
surely you
have the
don't
items
expect
with them.
us to go in there with her?
Of course not, Your Honor. Besides, I already have some forest debris here. With the court's permission, I'd like to have Sweetie's magic nullifier removed so she can recreate for us the tourniquet she claims to have made on that night.
Agreed. Bailiff, remove the nullifier.
Go on, Sweetie Belle. Give it a try.
If we're not going to get to see it.
Then that goes there. And then
He doesn't know. Someone must have given it to her.
goes like that. I can't.
Forgive me, witness. I believe I misheard you. Did you say you can't make a tourniquet?
She did, Your Honor.
Then how did she make one on the night she was attacked?
She didn't. Some pony else did.
But who?
It might have been that some pony whom Sweetie Belle heard just before she passed out behind the statue. Or maybe...
Miss Sweetie Belle?
I remember now. I didn't make a tourniquet. I just used a bunch of stuff I'd collected and pressed against my wound to stop it from bleeding.
You pressed unsanitized forest debris against an open wound and trusted it that it would keep it sealed long enough for you to reach Zeccora's hut?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that her hut was a little far, but I also knew that she had some healing potions I could use.
If you knew that, does that also mean you knew where exactly she stored them?
Well, yeah, duh.
Then could you please show the court from which cupboard you took the healing potion?
Yeah, you do.
Here? This one?
I'm sorry, Sweetie Belle. That is incorrect.
It's incorrect? But how?
Because that night, Sweetie Belle was neither the one to make the tourniquet, nor the one to get the healing potion from Zecora. Some pony else did
It was
both.
probably,
But who?
the Pegasus.
There was no one else at the statue.
I suspect Miss Sykes has been building up to this moment for quite some time. Well then, why don't you regale us? Who aided Miss Sweetie Belle in both of these
Not the only
endeavors?
pony who gives a crap about
The court
kids.
wants an answer, so I'd better make this count. Let me think.
It's the freaking
The judge
Pegasus.
says no one else was at the statue besides Sweetie Belle. That much might be true. But there were other ponies in the forest that night.
The one that was super
Given what we
fast.
already know about this case, it stands to reason that her savior could be one of them. But it can't just be any of them. It'd have to be some pony who knows how to make a tourniquet and identify which potions were healing ones. And it can't be Zecora, since she had no idea that the potion had been used until after yesterday's trial. Which leaves us with a pony who has a fair bit of medical knowledge behind them, and who was in the forest that night. That can only mean...
Defense, have you any idea as to who this mysterious helper
Yes, I think
was?
it was the Pegasus one.
I do, Your Honor. In fact, they're in the lobby right now ready to testify.
And who are they?
Silver Spoon!
Silver Spoon.
What?
What?
Yeah, you did not see that.
Not only was she in the forest that night, but she's mentioned before that she has some light medical knowledge.
She does?
It's not inconceivable that she might know how to make a rudimentary tourniquet.
No, wait! You can't call her to the stand!
Au contraire,
Because
Miss
she'll
Sweetie
tell the
Belle.
truth.
The defense has that right. And besides, I am curious as to what Miss Silverspoon would have to say.
I would also like to hear from her. Bailiff, please bring in Miss Silverspoon
Man,
to
she-
testify before the court.
I mean, unless she says she doesn't, not going to add any clips to this because there's
Now
too many
then, Miss
advertisements.
Silverspoon. Wait a moment. Is that Miss Diamond Tiara?
God damn
What are
it,
you
Diamond
doing
Tiara
here?
out of here.
Only Miss Silverspoon was summoned.
Yeah.
If you think I was gonna let Sylvie face the courtroom alone, then you're out of your old geezer mind.
Somebody needs a spanking.
Miss Diamond Tiara was quite insistent she accompany her friend, Your Honor.
Yeah, because she can
Her
manipulate her.
loyalty is fairly sound.
Yes, I can see that. And her brattiness just as much.
Your Honor? Why was I asked to come back here? I already testified yesterday.
We'd like to hear once again the actions you took on the night of Royal Order's death, Silverspoon.
What? I already told you everything that happened! Can't you just look over the court transcripts? To save ponies like us from repeating ourselves.
Why do I feel like there's going to be a lot of ponies involved in this?
Silverspoon looks like she'd rather be anywhere else but here. That must mean I'm on the right track. Diamond Tiara, it's the duty of a defense attorney to explore every possible avenue in a trial. Even if it means treading on old ground, we can't let that stop us. Not if doing so may allow us to see things a bit clearer.
A bold sentiment. I concur.
Princess Luna?
Both of you will testify as to the actions you took that night. Then we shall see if we can uncover anything new.
In other words, she's trusting that something does come out of this, and that I'm not just firing into the dark.
I hope this is the last trial, because goddamn.
Fine. We'll tell you everything again. Right, DT?
Uh-huh. Oh, right.
You think they're going to lie the whole time?
The two of us waited at the castle ruins for the CMC to show up, but it was only Scootaloo and her cult friend. He attacked me!
Afterwards, he threw DT's crown into the gorge and ran off. We tried to follow, but DT stepped
We
on my
don't care
glasses,
about that.
accidentally breaking them.
That crown is one of my most prized possessions. I couldn't just leave it behind. So Sylvie and I went down the gorge to go look for it.
When we came back, though, that was when we saw the body. We were also afraid the police might find the blackmail letter, so we tried looking for it too.
But then that zebra came, so we hid. She saw the body and ran. After a bit, we followed after her too.
Okay.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor?
That appears to indeed be a repeat of what we heard from these fillies in yesterday's trial. I fail to see what use it may be.
There might be a hole in it, Your
find
Honor.
your way.
Especially since we now have heard other testimonies besides their own.
A fair point. Very well. You may begin your cross-examination.
Okay.
The two of us waited at the castle ruins for the CMC to show up, but it was only Scootaloo and her cult friend. He attacked me!
I mean, it is true that Turning Page attacked you, but, well, it wasn't like you were innocent bystanders or anything.
Right. You two were blackmailing the Cutie Mark Crusaders in order to get that roll of golden fabric.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean I should have been hit by a stupid wooden sword. Do you have any idea how painful it is? I'm lucky my nose didn't break.
I did see Mr. Wright take a hit, but something tells me he might be a bit more used to physical abuse than most.
And what happened afterward?
Alright.
Afterwards, he threw DT's crown into the gorge and ran off. We tried to follow, but DT
Right,
stepped on my
right.
glasses, accidentally breaking them.
That crown is one of my most prized possessions. I couldn't just leave it behind. So Sylvie and I went down the gorge to go look for it.
This is copy and pasted what they just said.
You two went down into the gorge?
And emoji.
Well, yeah. That stupid cult threw away my crown. I couldn't just leave it behind.
I can understand you being able to go down there, Diamond Tiara, but what about you, Silver Spoon? How do you go down there?
Well, since my glasses were broken, I couldn't see. So
They
I
weren't
needed
only
Diamond
one of the
Tiara to
glass
guide me
broke.
down the steps.
Could you add that to your testimony then?
Sure? My glasses were broken, so I couldn't see. Diamond Tiara had to guide me down the steps.
Objection! You're saying that your glasses were broken? That doesn't seem quite right to me, Silver Spoon.
Huh? But
Yeah, but
they
she never
were
only had those
broken.
broke.
It's just like I told you yesterday during the trial.
As I recall, Defense, you were the ones to first postulate, based on the discovery of the glass shards, that glasses were indeed broken. We even verified that the shards belonged to Miss Silverspoon's glasses during the recess.
That is true, Prosecutor Luna. But there was a vital detail that I think you failed to mention as part of that report.
What would that be?
Those glass shards came from only one of Silverspoon's lenses. The other was completely intact, meaning that, with only half of her glasses broken, she could still see just fine through the other lens.
True.
If you deny that, Silverspoon, then I'm sure you wouldn't mind if we verify with your doctor. He could easily confirm that he replaced a pair of glasses with one of the lenses broken.
No, that won't be necessary. It's true. Only one of my lenses was broken, so I could still see. Well, sort of. Enough that DT didn't have to guide me blindly down the steps, at least.
But that means that you stuck with your friend the whole time?
Yeah, of course.
Liar.
I was walking with only half a pair of glasses on, after all, and it was still very dark and scary. But yeah, Athena's right. I did have one lens letting me somewhat see. But I don't see how this is important at all. Why is this detail important, Athena?
It's because not only was Silverspoon able to see well going down into the gorge, but she was also able to see coming out of it, and presumably for the rest of the night. Her being able to see at all gives a bit more credibility to my claim that she helped Sweetie Belle.
You're right! Wow, Athena, look at you! You're really managing to put the pieces together!
Thank you, Twilight. But we've still got a bit more ways to go before we can end this.
In any case, I believe it is best that we return to the witness's testimony, now that the matter about the glasses has been cleared up.
When we came back, though, that was when we saw the body. We were also afraid the police might find the blackmail letter, so we tried looking for it too. Hold it!
You two had gone down into the gorge looking for Diamond Tiara's crown. After you found it, you left. But during that time, did anything of note occur?
Of note? I mean, we did hear that clang sound while we were looking for it.
But there wasn't just one clang heard that night, Diamond Tiara. There were, in fact, two.
Yes, we established that in the previous trial. There was the one that Sakura, Diamond Tiara, and Silver Spoon heard, and then there was the one that Silver Spoon alone heard. It was suggested that it might have come from inside the castle, perhaps from something falling.
Suggested, yes, but not supported. However, that's not my point. Thanks to a little help from Scootaloo, as well as what we just heard from Sweetie Belle, I think I have a pretty good explanation for why Silver Spoon heard two, but Diamond Tiara did not.
Then please explain, Miss Sykes.
Before we resumed today's trial, I asked Sakura and Scootaloo about these clangs. Sakura confirmed that she heard one before she left her hut. Scootaloo said that she also heard one when she was passing by Sakura's house. But that night, she heard a second clang, just before she crashed into Royal Order at the crossroads. Now, do you remember what we just heard from Sweetie Belle? What she did in order to scare off those Timberwolves?
She banged the armor pieces together, making a clanging sound.
And that was, of course, after Sakura left her hut at 10:15. Sweetie hid the pieces together at around 10:25. That's why Sakura didn't hear a second clang. She wasn't nearby.
So this second clang was heard by Miss Scootaloo and Miss Silver Spoon, then?
That's right, Your Honor. But if you think about it, that should be possible.
Why is that?
Scootaloo said she heard that clang when she was at the crossroads, and that clang came from Sweetie Belle, who was at the Nightmare Moon statue. Looking at these two locations, we see they're a short distance of each other. It's not unreasonable that Scootaloo would have been able to hear it. Yet, Silver Spoon said she heard the second clang as well, all the way from the other side of the forest while she was in the gorge.
Impossible.
Now, how can that be?
You're right. That does seem implausible. But she still said she heard that clang, so then...
There's only one explanation, Your Honor. Silver Spoon was not at the bottom of the gorge like she and Diamond Tiara claimed. Instead, she was close enough to the statue to have heard that second clang. Your Honor, it is the defense's belief that instead of following Diamond Tiara down the gorge, Silver Spoon chased after Scootaloo and Turning Page. She made her way through the forest, all the way to the crossroads, hearing both clangs along the way. Once she got to the crossroads, she headed for the statue where she found Sweetie Belle injured and unconscious. As I said before, Silver Spoon has a bit of a background in medicine. Since both her parents are doctors,
they are?
She would have known how to make a tourniquet out of an assortment of items. Therefore, she would have known how to treat Sweetie Belle's injury. And that explains away the issue from earlier. How Sweetie Belle, despite not knowing how to treat her wound, managed to have it treated in the first place. Objection!
This is truly a fascinating theory, defense. But you have yet to answer one final question regarding it. Why would she have found Sweetie Belle at all?
Prosecutor Luna, what do you mean?
I can believe that Silver Spoon might have run all the way back to the crossroads. But why would she then head to the statue after getting there?
Curiosity?
Defense, give us some proof to show why she would have gone to the statue.
Gladly, Prosecutor Luna. Take that!
This is... Ah! The photo that Private Eye took revealing Royal Order's blood at the crossroads?
The very same, Your Honor. And if you'll recall, that blood led to the Nightmare Moon statue. If that blood was visible on the night in question, then Silver Spoon should have easily seen it. And that would have meant she could have followed it to the statue where she'd find Sweetie Belle. And after she did, she treated the young filly's wound using what she had available.
Miss Silver Spoon?
Alright, let's see what she has to say.
What are you? Your Honor, I object!
Yes, witness?
To what?
What exactly are you objecting to?
I'm objecting to what Athena said about going to the statue and helping Sweetie Belle.
You are?
Okay, I admit it. I didn't exactly go down the gorge with DT when she needed me to. Instead, I did chase after Scootaloo and Turning Page. But that's it! That's all I did. I never went near that statue, and I never helped Sweetie Belle. Not one bit! But then how else could Sweetie Belle have gotten the help she needed for her injury? She couldn't do it on her own. And Silver Spoon, you were the only one in the forest that night.
It was
Sans
also
Sakura,
those other
with the
ponies.
expertise
No,
needed to help her. I don't know, Princess Twilight, but I still never did what Athena's saying I did. And it's not like she has any proof to back that up.
Maybe just blitzing.
Athena, you're thinking of something, aren't you?
I am. I have a pretty good idea of how to show definitively that Silver Spoon did help Sweetie Belle that night.
If she stepped on the bed, you get the stains on
I
her.
don't think I want to do that just yet.
What? But shouldn't we?
We should. But there's another angle in all of this that I feel needs to be established before I do that. We know that Silver Spoon's not telling the truth, and it'd be very easy to show that. But we also know Sweetie Belle's been lying to us. I think there's a way to get the both of them to confess the truth. Kill two birds with one stone.
Alright.
And I think if we do that, we'll be one step closer to figuring out everything.
You really think so?
Yeah. I'm more certain of it than I've ever been, Twilight.
All right, Athena. I'll follow your lead.
Defense? This witness has objected to your claim. Do you have any proof to support it?
I do, Your Honor. But I don't want to present it at this moment.
You don't want to present it? Miss Sykes, I'm afraid I don't understand.
Your Honor, there's one more detail I would like to get an explanation for from Miss Silver Spoon.
Alright.
One more detail?
Miss Sykes.
Yes, Prosecutor Luna?
We have a saying here in Equestria.
Do you?
Be wary of those who lead you down the garden path, promising a way out through the twists and turns.
What?
So far, you have been objecting at various points during this trial, hinting, it would seem, at some larger explanation. But you have yet to provide one. Where there were clear avenues for you to exploit, you chose instead to take multiple twisting paths, stringing the court along. So I must ask, where are you taking us? Is it another garden path? And when will these many winding roads cease, allowing us clear passage?
I understand if you feel as though I've been leading us nowhere, Prosecutor Luna. But this will be the last time I take us down those winding roads. I promise.
Alright.
What is this one other detail that you had in mind, Miss Sykes?
It's something that's been bothering me from the very beginning of this entire case, Your Honor. Almost as much as Royal Order's death. The item that got Turning Page arrested.
You mean...
That's right. The anonymous tip.
This anonymous tip. you must mean the one Miss Sugarstamp wrote and delivered. The one implicating the deceased son?
I am, Prosecutor Luna. However, I think you'll find it's far too soon for us to definitively say that Miss Sugarstamp is responsible for writing and sending it.
Why is that, defense?
Because of this.
Another magazine?
That's right. But this isn't just an ordinary magazine. If you flip through it, you'll see that a few pages have been cut out. Before this trial began, I had a friend test those cutouts against the ones found on the anonymous tip, and she found that they were a perfect match.
A perfect match?
Where was this magazine discovered?
In Diamond
In
Tiara.
the home of Diamond Tiara.
Yep.
What?
Did you say Diamond Tiara? Order in the court! You mean to say that Diamond Tiara is the true sender of the tip? Witness! What do you have to say for yourself?
What? I don't know. I've never even seen that magazine in my life.
Liar.
Yet it was found in your house, according to the defense. Do you deny that?
No, but I don't know anything about it.
Objection! I know this looks bad for Diamond Tiara, but, Your Honor, it's actually impossible for her to be the one who sent the tip in the first place.
Impossible? But the magazine! If it was found in her house, and if it matches the tip, then she must have sent it.
Or
Not
it was
quite.
Silverspin.
Take a look at this photo. It's a picture of where this magazine was found, in the trash can of Diamond Tiara's bedroom.
Defense, do you mean to say that you were digging around in some filly's trash?
Not
It
me,
was someone
my
else.
boss. But that's
Yeah.
besides the point. Your Honor, when you look at this photo, what do you see underneath the magazine?
Hmm?
Nope.
Oh, why, it's a Hudson Hooves Day envelope. How lovely.
He
How
has a
long did
crush.
this guy stay here last time he was in Equestria? Exactly, Your Honor. That's why it's impossible for Diamond Tiara to have sent this.
I'm afraid you've lost me, defense.
Yeah.
The placement of the envelope tells us it was thrown away before this magazine. That envelope could only have been thrown away on Hearts and Hooves Day, February 14th. We know that the tip was delivered on the 13th, because that was the day that Turning Page was arrested. So it doesn't make sense for the magazine to be on top of the envelope. That means it's impossible that Diamond Tiara could have sent the tip. She'd have sent it too late.
Exactly. Finally, you said something smart.
Hey!
You deserve a
Would it
smack.
kill you to be a little grateful?
I see. But then, how do we explain the fact that the magazine was found in her bedroom?
Well, it couldn't have been stashed there by the pony who said she sent it, Sugarstamp. She'd already been arrested by the time she arrived in Ponyville.
Logically, that means the sender must be some pony who was in Diamond Tiara's bedroom. Someone who'd be able to discard the magazine while there. Miss Diamond Tiara?
What is it, Princess Luna?
Between today and yesterday, was there any pony present in your house who could have disposed of this magazine?
Witness, it is in your best interest to be honest with the court.
She's been honest.
When Sylvie came to my house yesterday, she was carrying a magazine.
DT, wait!
Then that means that Miss Silverspoon could be the true sender.
Except for one thing, Your Honor.
It was placed outside the entrance to the Ponyville police station without any pony noticing. It was around 4:45 when a pair of officers brought it in. I doubt it could have been there for long. We were unsure if it could even be trusted until we started our inquiries.
Right. And Princess Luna said you had an appointment the day after. What time did you go?
It was around 4:30. It went on for about half an hour.
Alright.
The tip was delivered around 4:45 p.m. on the 13th, when Silver Spoon was busy getting her glasses replaced. So you see, she couldn't have sent it.
But she still had the magazine in question. It was still used to write the tip.
If she wasn't the one to deliver it, then she might have been given it by the true author. Is that what you're thinking, Miss Sykes?
Diamond Tiara,
What now?
I know you're scared for Silver Spoon, but figuring out what we can about this magazine is crucial to helping her, even if you can't see it. Do you remember any details about Silver Spoon when she brought the magazine to your house? Anything at all? DT, please. Please, Diamond Tiara. I know I have no right to ask this of you, but there's a way to protect Silver Spoon, and it depends on what you're able to tell us.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. DT, hang on. Not now, Sylvie. Just trust me, okay? I'm doing this for your sake.
Diamond?
When Sylvie came into my bedroom with the magazine, I saw that she had a small patch on her coat that was stained red.
Stained red? With blood, I would presume?
Yeah.
So, she had been bleeding very recently. But what could have caused the injury?
There's no way. Could it really be? I think I know the answer, Your Honor.
You do?
Yes, and it has to do with something that happened yesterday, too. While we were out investigating in preparation for defending Sweetie Belle, we learned from Apple Bloom that there'd been a break-in at Carousel Boutique.
We'd heard of that break-in earlier, too.
A break-in? Oh dear. Has the perpetrator been found?
While the
She's in the
police have
courtroom.
cordoned off the area and are conducting their own investigation, regrettably, they have not yet found the culprit.
And neither did we when we searched the boutique after hearing of the incident. But we did find some clues as to their identity. Namely, a few drops of blood. Rarity's cat, Opalescence, had attacked them. No doubt that the
Oh,
blood
the cat
belonged to the
scratched her.
culprit.
Oh,
And, coincidentally,
Silverfin's screwed.
we have on the stand some pony who, just yesterday, had also been bleeding.
Also? Been bleeding? Miss Sykes, are you saying?
I am, Your Honor. The defense believes that the pony who broke into Carousel Boutique was none other than... Silver Spoon!
Yeah.
Objection!
Defense, that is absurd. Have you forgotten a key element to that whole affair?
A key element, Prosecutor Luna?
Carousel Boutique was completely locked up.
She can teleport
All
in,
the
of
windows,
course.
all the doors. There'd be no way for an Earth pony like Miss Silverspoon to get inside.
Oh, right.
Not
she's
unless
Earth.
she had an accomplice, such as a unicorn to teleport her. And who would do that for her?
That's what we thought too. But what if we've all been wrong about that?
Wrong?
We've all been assuming that the boutique was fully locked up. We know that it was after the crime, but we don't know for sure if it was
because
locked up
Sweetie Belle left
before.
and probably forgot to lock
It is quite possible that the true perpetrator had already entered and only locked up the place when they were leaving.
That is still speculation, Golden Pixie.
Maybe not, Prosecutor Luna. Has any pony taken a look at the front door's lock?
The front door's lock? What about it?
It's not an ordinary kind of lock. It's specifically a thumb-turn cylinder lock.
Okay.
The way it works is that it can be locked from the inside while the door's open, and then the door can close behind someone as they leave.
Oh, okay.
Let's say that I'm right then, that the culprit did lock the place only when they were leaving. They'd be able to thanks to this thumb-turn lock. In doing so, they'd create the
Thumb-turn
illusion that
lock
Carousel
for
Boutique had been
pony
broken
business.
into while it had actually been already locked up completely.
Preposterous! In order for that to work, Defense, some pony would have to leave one of the entrances to the boutique unlocked for the perpetrator to
Yep,
enter
Sweetie
at
Belle.
all. But Miss Rarity already told the police that she'd locked up the place before she headed to yesterday's trial.
But Sweetie
So there
Belle
was
did.
no pony else around to unlock it.
No pony else? I'm not sure about that, Prosecutor Luna. There was, in fact, one pony who could have done that deed. they'd be the one to have orchestrated this elaborate illusion for us all to see. And they'd have done it so that Miss Silverspoon could have entered the boutique unhindered.
Then, who is this mysterious pony, Miss Sykes?
It was the only other pony who'd been with Rarity that very same day. Sweetie Belle!
Sweetie?
Sweetie Belle!
Here's how I think the whole incident happened. Before Sweetie Belle left with Rarity...
I'm gonna pause right here. It's getting good, but... Yeah, I guess I'm not gonna do the full thing today. Or tonight. I'll probably finish up tomorrow. Hopefully I can skip through all the goddamn advertisements tomorrow, because holy crap, I hate advertisements. Ugh, they ruin videos so badly. I like watching YouTube videos, but the advertisements annoy the hell out of me. It just ruins the video. It's not a little grumpy, but like I said, I'm usually moody around the holidays. I just don't like Christmas. Always kind of hate it. I've had a lot of bad experiences from it, so yeah. Anyway, if you guys like the reaction, and have a nice day.